Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of YOUheal Radio. Today, we are stepping into something that's incredibly important, yet often overlooked: attachment styles in relationships. Whether it's with your partner, your family, or your friends, the way we attach to others can shape so much of our experiences in life. We are going to explore the different attachment styles, what they look like, and how we can gently move away from unhealthy patterns toward more secure and fulfilling connections. So, if you've ever found yourself feeling anxious, distant, or unsure in your relationships, this one's for you. Let's walk this healing journey together. Let's start by understanding what attachment styles are. At their core, attachment styles are patterns of how we relate to others, especially in close relationships. They're like the blueprint for how we connect with people. And these blueprints often start forming in early childhood, based on our interactions with our primary caregivers. But even though they start early, they can evolve and change as we grow. There are 4 main types of attachment styles: secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. Each one reflects a different way of connecting with others, and understanding them can give us incredible insight into our behaviors and emotions in relationships. First, let's talk about the secure attachment style. This is the ideal, the one we all strive for. People with a secure attachment feel comfortable with both intimacy and independence. They trust their partners, communicate openly, and don't worry excessively about the relationship ending. It's the kind of attachment that feels like a safe, warm hug, reliable, nurturing, and supportive. But not all of us grew up in environments that fostered secure attachment, and that's okay. Awareness is the first step to healing. Often, our attachment styles can be traced back to childhood. Let's start with the anxious attachment style. This often develops in children whose caregivers are inconsistent, sometimes responsive, sometimes not. This unpredictability leads the child to become overly concerned with their caregiver's availability, resulting in behaviors driven by fear of abandonment. As adults, individuals with an anxious attachment style tend to be overly dependent on their partners, constantly seeking reassurance and feeling insecure in relationships. They fear rejection deeply and often struggle with low self-esteem. Next is the avoidant attachment style. This typically arises in children who have caregivers that are emotionally distant or unresponsive to their needs. To cope, the child learns to rely on themselves and suppresses the need for closeness. In adulthood, this manifests as a strong preference for independence and a discomfort with intimacy. People with avoidant attachment styles often keep others at arm's length, fearing that closeness will lead to loss of autonomy or suffocation. Lastly, there's the disorganized attachment style. This is often the result of caregivers who are not just inconsistent, but also frightening or abusive. The child faces a confusing dilemma. The caregiver is both a source of comfort and fear. This leads to a lack of coherent strategy for dealing with relationships. Adults with disorganized attachment may display a mix of behaviors seen in anxious and avoidant styles. They may desire closeness, but also push others away, leading to unpredictable and chaotic relationship patterns. These patterns, if unrecognized, can follow us into adulthood and affect how we relate to everyone around us, whether it's our partners, our family, or our friends. It's like we're trying to recreate our early experiences, even if they were painful, because it's what we know. And let's be honest, most of us don't even realize we're doing it. If you find yourself resonating with the anxious attachment style, it's important to begin nurturing your self-worth independent of your relationships. This means dedicating time to the things you love, whether that's diving into hobbies, strengthening your friendships, or practicing self-care. Remind yourself daily that you are enough just as you are. You deserve love and respect in every relationship. A simple yet powerful exercise is to write affirmations for yourself. Phrases like, "I am worthy of love," or "I trust that I am enough," can make a world of difference. For those of us with an avoidant attachment style, the journey is about learning to open up and trust others. It might feel intimidating at first, but start with small steps. Maybe try sharing a little more with a close friend, or allow yourself to lean on someone you trust when you're feeling vulnerable. It's also essential to remind yourself that intimacy doesn't mean losing your independence. You can have both, a sense of closeness and your freedom. If you identify with the disorganized attachment style, healing might involve navigating those conflicting emotions. Therapy can be incredibly supportive here, offering a safe space to explore your feelings and develop healthier ways of relating to others. But even if you're working on this alone, mindfulness practices can be helpful. When you feel that push-pull of wanting closeness but also fearing it, take a moment to breathe, ground yourself, and acknowledge what's happening. Over time, this awareness can help you feel more in control of your emotions. Here's some good news. Just because we developed a certain attachment style in childhood doesn't mean we're stuck with it forever. The first step in healing from a toxic attachment style is becoming aware of it. Start by noticing patterns in your relationships that aren't serving you well. For example, you might notice that you're constantly seeking reassurance from your partner, or maybe you realize that you keep pushing people away when they try to get close. These are signs of old attachment wounds showing up in your present life. Once you recognize these patterns, the next step is to start working on them. This can involve setting boundaries, practicing self-compassion, and learning to soothe yourself when those anxious or avoidant feelings arise. Remember, you don't need to rely on someone else to make you feel secure. You can start cultivating that sense of security within yourself. One of the most effective ways to heal from toxic attachment is through therapy. A good therapist can help you explore your attachment style and work through those deep-seated fears and insecurities. But if therapy isn't accessible to you, there are still many things you can do on your own. Journaling, for instance, can be incredibly powerful. When you notice yourself getting anxious or avoidant in a relationship, take some time to write down your feelings. What triggered it? How does it connect to your past experiences? Over time, this kind of reflection can help you gain clarity and begin to break those old patterns. Another way to heal is by surrounding yourself with people who have healthy attachment styles. This could be friends, family members, or even online communities where you can observe and learn what healthy relationships look like. When you spend time with people who treat you with respect, who are consistent in their affection, and who don't play games, it helps rewire your brain to expect and seek out healthier relationships. Healing from toxic attachment isn't a quick fix, it's a journey. But with awareness, self-compassion, and the willingness to put in the work, you can start moving toward healthier, more fulfilling relationships. And remember, it's okay to ask for help along the way. You are not alone in this. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where those old attachment patterns start to creep up, take a moment to pause, breathe, remind yourself that you deserve healthy, loving relationships, and that you have the power to create them. If this episode resonated with you, please don't hesitate to share it with someone who might benefit from it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more heart-centered content like this. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. You're worthy of love and healing, always.